when is our story that we're following normal, and when is it pathology? Maybe you've just described that.
Well, past 2 years, I've taken a major transition in my work. I taught psychopathology at analytic institutes and doctoral programs and all, and I'm pretty good at that. I could never teach pathology again, because if you look at the notion of pathology, when you say, well, that couple's really, it's a sick couple, or misguided couple, or say that behavior is really sick, look what they're doing over here. It doesn't tell you anything. Pathology is talking about something that deviates from a norm. Shift the paradigm, which is really where we're going with this work. Every behavior is consistent with some drama. We need to ask a different question, which is, what drama is this story part of? You know how we say every picture tells a story? Now, I reverse that too, and I say, no, every story has a picture. So if you see somebody doing behavior that looks really odd or so-called bizarre or perverse, if you track it back, you're going to find out there's a story. Bigger than an individual. Maybe in mythology we've seen this, maybe in ancient cultures we've seen this, maybe in tradition, some ancient tradition, where this behavior was part of that kind of behavior. And you see how different it is? So I'm not looking at pathology. What I'm saying is that these innate properties, or we'll call them archetypes now, will express themselves through behavior, whether you know it or not. And it's not about pathology. It gets regressive if you don't understand it, and it begins to take over the individual, and you're consumed by it and possessed. It gets creative when you say, my God, it never dawned on me that this maybe is some kind of rite of passage. And that's why I'm doing X or Y.
So how do you get out of this? I mean, repetition clearly is comfortable. It's what we know. We repeat these things. How do we change? How do we move out?
The first step is you have to do some kind of stick in the wheel. You got to put a stick in the wheel when this thing is going. And you need somebody that could step out of the drama. I think it's very difficult without some kind of mentoring or analysis.
So you don't have to be fated to it, but you have to find it.
Well, you know, fate, that's a great word. The difference between fate and destiny is character. Destiny is about character where one can work with it. Fate is just being blindly pulled along. And you need to be actively engaged with these patterns somehow. You need a capacity to reflect. And this is, you don't have to have a PhD or MA or graduate degree or have to go through college. The capacity to reflect on what is happening in front of you. A farmer does this every day. They got to reflect on a pattern. They see animals that are behaving in a certain way. So, well, that's odd. Okay. Like, let's take in China, when I look at cows and different animals, one of the signs of an impending earthquake is what? The animals begin to act in very seemingly bizarre ways, and they say, my God, if the animals are doing this, we know from 2,000 years of history, animals often do this in response to an impending earthquake. You see, it's not sick.